Hi, it's Hans at ahappierman.com. Today's topic is planning your summer trip. It's May 2022 as I'm speaking, and I have my summer trip, or my first one anyway, all planned out. I hope the accommodations are all booked, and I have a list of the things I want to see. So I would consider it mostly planned. I'm going early next month in June. This is May, next month is June. Only working a couple more weeks, and then I got a nice nearly 2 weeks off. This is my plan now. I will say my plan is subject to change. If the gas prices go way up, I'll have to consider that. I'm just hoping that they stay stable. I needed to get my accommodations booked. I didn't want to wait till the last minute with the idea of what if I can't find a place, or what if the prices start creeping up rapidly. So I wanted to get my plans in place. This is different than the last few trips. The last few trips actually last year I think I had my accommodations booked, but the year before I went on a trip, I didn't have anything booked. I just went, and when I got to the city where I wanted to go, that's when I booked. And then a couple of other trips, I had things kind of partially booked the beginning, but the end of the trip I just kind of did on the fly, and that's fun too. But this year I went through the effort to kind of get it more all laid out, and it was kind of fun. I think I had more time. And maybe the biggest thing is there were specific things I wanted to see and specific things I wanted to do, and I wanted to make sure that I had this, and I wanted to set aside the time at work. There's just a bunch of things at work that I can't just go at any time. There's some things that are kind of critical that I'm available for, and I wanted to kind of space this trip so I'm still available on the beginning, before, and after. But so that's the planning part, is finding out exactly when it's best for you to go. I'm going by myself, so I don't have to coordinate with other people. If you're coordinating with other people, this planning part is critical, and you may, if you're planning something with other people, I think you would want to spend a lot of time meeting with them, talking it over, getting things laid out far in advance. Like I could decide today to fly overseas tomorrow, but I'm a single guy who's a traveler. That's different than if you're working with a bunch of other people. So my summer trip is going to be a road trip. I'm driving in my vehicle here, my beautiful pickup truck, because it drives really well. Of course, it does it does like the gas, and with the gas prices as high as they are, that's a little bit of a bite. But there's always going to be a baseline cost, and if the extra cost is just a few $100s more, well, so be it. I'm 58. I like to think in terms of, what if this is the last road trip I take out west? Don't I want to go ahead and do it and have a good time and see things I've never seen before, or revisit some place that I really love? That's my attitude on the traveling. I don't know how much time I have left. I'd like to think it's going to be a good long time, but what if I don't, right? What if I don't? So my view on the traveling is something that I love to do. So if I have something I love to do, I'm going to do the things I love, which is the traveling and taking this summer road trip. And I just, fell in love with the West and the mountains and just the West in general back as a kid. My dad took us on a trip, and I'll thank my dad till the day I die about the love he instilled. Wasn't easy to take a family on a trip in those days, but we all love those trips, and we have such fond memories, and we all love the family. I mean, my brother, sister, love that part of our lives, and I just cannot quit doing it. I love it so much. And I've taken a number of trips, and it really, during my marriage, we only had a very, very minor amount of traveling, and that really was not to my liking at all. Now, I didn't really have the money to travel anyway, but I prefer to travel more and economize elsewhere. So again, getting back, I can economize on other things and enjoy the traveling. And I've organized my finances, so I think I'm in pretty good shape for this particular trip. And I'm super excited about this trip, because the plan is to stay overnight, 12 nights and 13 days, and this would be like the longest trip I've ever taken in my life in terms of days. And I've got things planned out, and there's all kinds of wonderful things to see that I have never seen before, so really, really looking forward to it. And I would say that a summer trip is something that is, let's say, first on my list of what I want to do every summer is take a summer trip. Last year I had like 3 summer trips, and they were all kind of small, right? 2 weekend trips, and then a half a week Western trip. But they were all special, and that made my summer, along with other things. And I would say, yeah, a summer road trip or a summer flight somewhere doing summer things is going to make your life special. And of course, if you have other people in your life that you love and it's appropriate for you to have them come along, well, you can be a part of making their life special too. But I'm just talking to be a happier man. You might want to just go by yourself, even if you're married, even if you have kids. If I maybe younger, some of the ideas I would have for younger men, even if they have families and kids, is you can do a summer trip on the cheap, right? If the gas mileage you get in your vehicle is high, well, that's pretty good. If you stay in cheap lodgings, the cheap hotels, or camp, which is even cheaper, that's a way to economize. If you don't have to eat a lot of fancy food, if you don't have to spend a lot of money on tours and paying other people to take you around, there's a way to economize. I like just driving someplace and seeing stuff. I don't necessarily have to immerse myself in all the other things. Now, there are things I'd like to do: horseback riding, zip lining, renting ATVs, getting driven around by somebody else, touring, that kind of thing. I like all that, but I pick and choose, how much this stuff costs versus my energy level versus what I'm already seeing. What I'm saying is there's ways to economize, and then sometimes just the going someplace new and different than where you're at now, spending enough time to kind of get your mind away from your normal will do you a lot of good. I find that traveling to do me a lot of good. It kind of reinvigorates me. It gives me something to, 1, plan for, 2, enjoy at the time, and 3, reflect on when I'm done. And I spend time afterwards kind of make it a little little scrapbook of the trip, and keeping track of it, and the cost, the miles, what I did, who I met, the good things I saw, the things to keep in mind. All that kind of information is good for the next trip too. And that makes my life special, because I matter. Because I matter, I'm going to do things for me that are special to me. Another reason for me not to wait is I just got word another friend of a friend kicked the bucket, 57 years old, right? I'm 57 years old, right? So that is extremely sad that he passed. I didn't know him, but he was a good friend of a good friend, and I know that hurt my friend to hear that, and that is like a big wake-up call. To me, it's always a wake-up call, right? That guys in our 50s, we don't know how much time we have left, and since we don't know how much time we have left, we should not make our plans assuming that we have a lot of time left. We should make our plans assuming that the way I do it is I'm assuming I have X amount of years left, and that means I want to take advantage of every year, not just some year later. I want to take advantage of now, this year. I have a summer coming up, and I want to take advantage of it. So give that idea some thought, all for now.